Hi, welcome to today's healing. I'm Kristen, and if you're joining me today, that means that you are ready to make a change in yourself and the world around you. Today, we're going to be talking about the individuation process that was brought around by Dr. Carl Jung. Okay, the individuation is self-realization. Self-realization, a process Jung believed to be essential for a healthy, functioning personality. Integrating the four major archetypes, the persona, the shadow, the anima animus, and the self. Now, I have spoken about this in another podcast, how I don't I don't believe that the self is the archetype. I believe that these three are integrated into the self, which is our whole person. So we are trying to get to the self with the individuation process by integrating the three, I would say, major archetypes: the persona, the shadow, and the anima animus to be our self. Individuation is about becoming a single, homogeneous being. Individually embracing our innermost, incomparable uniqueness. Individuation is being one's own authentic self. That is our goal, to being our true, authentic, whole self. Jung discovered one's personality is composed of conscious and unconscious realm. The unconscious realm is split into the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. Personal unconscious is largely composed of repressed elements from one's personal history. Collective unconscious is composed of instincts and archetypes, which are common to all human beings. And he said that they are inherited, like instincts that a dog has, or, an animal, or instincts that we have. The archetypes are instincts, and they have been known around the world in different cultures that he has studied. Archetypes can be viewed as evolved cognitive structures which influence emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. Archetypes provide structure to the different parts of the psyche, and the psyche functions optimally when there exists a harmonious balance between these parts. According to Jung, few people function at an optimal manner. And I'm sure you see that all around you. What's wrong with that person, right? What's wrong with me? Most suffer from imbalances where some parts of their personality suffer from inflation or overexpression in consciousness, while other parts suffer from deflation or underdevelopment, where they lack proper expression in consciousness. Jung believed imbalances often lead to neurosis and a lack of vitality in life. When I was going through my, disruption in life, if you will, I had a neurosis, and I know it sounds daunting and it's like, oh my gosh, she has a neurosis, but it's just that part of your brain that holds on to the old traumas or new traumas that are causing you to act in a way that isn't, oh boy, how do I say this? kind of phobias and stuff like that. And that you have to meet the shadow and you have got to work through the issues, because I no longer have that neurosis. And it's not as bad as what it sounds. It's just a part of your brain holding on to something that you need to work through. Working to bring about proper expression of the various archetypal structured elements of one's personality by confronting contents of the unconscious and obtaining self-knowledge is the purpose of the individuation process. This process occurs spontaneously when unimpeded, as the contents of the unconscious naturally strive for outward expression in the world. So, your unconscious is constantly striving to bring this stuff forward. And we've got to be more aware of this so that we can consciously work on our issues. Jung said, everything in the unconscious seeks outward manifestation. I'm going to repeat that. Everything in the consciousness seeks outward manifestation. Think about that. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the conscious life, the darker it is. If we're not bringing our shadow into awareness, it is going to cause all kinds of problems and neuroses. And it's so many people have so much buried. I know I did. And I know I can talk to people and can tell, that their dark shadow just isn't in awareness. And if it's not in awareness, how can they work on it? If brought into conscious awareness, it can be faced and corrected. So I would imagine that if you or someone has identified that you have some kind of issue, then that is something that you can maybe seek help and work on that issue and bring it into awareness, and then say, oh, it makes it less daunting. It makes it a lot easier when you're aware of it and you can say, you know what, I'm going to face this and I'm going to get rid of it. People deny the negative personality traits and bury them because they don't fit with the image they are desperately trying to portray. When integrating the shadow into consciousness, positive traits emerge. Creative energies bring about a renewed sense of vitality to life. There is hope. The shadow, when realized, gives a sense of renewal. When there is an impasse, we must look to the shadow, face it, and neutralize it to gain our freedom from that aspect of darkness. Meeting the shadow opens up the archetype Anima, Animus. While the persona protects the ego from the outside world, the Anima, Animus protects the ego from the threatening and overwhelming contents which emerge from the dark inner depths of the unconscious. The natural function of the Anima Animus is to remain in the place between the individual consciousness and the collective unconscious, exactly as the persona is straight between the ego consciousness and the external world. The Animus functions as a bridge or door leading to the images of the collective unconscious, as the persona should be a bridge into the world. Meeting Animus represents a connection to the unconscious even deeper than that of the shadow. The shadow meets the disdained and rejected pieces of the total psyche, the inferior and unwanted qualities. Meeting the anima, it is a contact with levels of the psyche which has the potential to lead into the deepest and highest reaches that the ego can attain. After the encounter and integrated aspects of the anima animus archetype into your ego, one gains access to enter into the deepest layer of the psyche, the archetype of wholeness, which Jung called the self, and viewed as the most important of all the archetypes. The self is our life's goal. Remember that. It is the center of the entire psyche. It is the unifying and organizing principle of the psyche and is oriented toward a union of the conscious and unconscious realms. Jung found that the most numerous and more significant the unconscious contents which are assimilated to the ego, the closer the ego is to self. This is still a never-ending process. The closer the ego is to self, the more harmonious you feel with yourself and the world. This is a link to the infinite. The individuation process, which culminates in an identification with the self, is crucial for the development of the healthy, functioning personality, as well as the suppression of the unique potential that exists within each of us. It is also for the benefit of all of society. Change yourself, change the world. Okay, I hope this kind of helped. And, there's content out there that you can dig in even deeper to the individuation process and hopefully start working through your shadow aspects and the anima animus aspect and unifying yourself to a whole, authentic being. All right. As always, I appreciate you being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again. And remember, go out and change the world. Bye-bye.